Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing DMC, Devil May Cry Definitive Edition on Dante Must Die difficulty, and this is our hardcore modified playthrough with the turbo mode on and no item usage. So this will be the Bob Barbas boss fight. And just want to quote a few things from the changelog. Don't worry, I'm not going to just have my paper here every time, but they've reworked, it says in the changelog, they've reworked Bob's main button logic so that now he can light any number of the 6 buttons, and he only lights the ones that the player needs to stomp to disable him. Excuse me. On Dante Must Die difficulty, Bob now is no longer immediately interrupted. This is probably the most important one that you'll find when you play this. He is no longer immediately interrupted when you stomp a button, and his attacks will now continue unless that is the final button required to KO him and put him in the stun status when you're hitting him. He now cancels, this is interesting too because it's helpful, he now cancels the wall attack if the player gets hit by any one wall segment, so he doesn't just keep hitting you and spamming you with that shit. Kind of like Gigadeath in Ninja Gaiden 2, I guess. But he's got this purple attack here, which is a revolving light attack, and just jumping over it and using the sword to give yourself additional hang time works well. And then using the Angel Evade with a Trickster speed boost is really helpful on the blue one because it tracks you left to right whichever way you're going. And then on this phase here, it's a two encounter session where you get to hit him, but you're interrupted by him doing a explosion. I'll talk about that in a second, but this one just comes together 3 times, that green light. The one that you'll probably... I think the purple one's the hardest one to avoid, quite honestly. But the one that's the wall attack, like I said in the description when I was reading, it starts out yellow, and then it's actually green, but it's yellow when you first see it. So I was able to do this guy no damage, and I personally think that you should be given no more than 2 hits should kill you. I think on hardcore, if you're playing on hardcore, you should only get 1 hit on this guy. It's criminally simple, but it is hard to, like when I say 2 hits, I can understand that people might not have the tolerance to deal with with these new games. They hobble the character's jump. It happens in God of War and happens in this game. It might even happen in Razor's Edge with Ninja Gaiden. I don't remember that game too fondly, but he hasn't even done the wall attack. See, it starts like yellow and then it's green. I think I said that. And then each time you go here back to the pier, it's just a waiting session. And I would count this as taking damage too. So I'm just going to be staying in the air and just evading these enemies as much as possible. Because the main test is doing the evades. Now, I've parried back his light attacks, like when he's doing this. Like, see, when the wall comes at you, you'll see it in a minute, and there's little like doorways that you are supposed to stand and jump in to not take damage. But I parried that back at him, and it reflects back at him, but it doesn't do any damage. So it's not really like, the only thing you might want to do that for is if you just don't want to wait for the wall attack, because it's pretty long. And he does it pretty frequently, but the number of little switches on the floor increases per wave. So this is the second of the 3 waves coming up. Watch out for the roller coaster seats, or whatever the spinning seats are in the air. They can actually damage you, so don't launch enemies over there, and don't jump over there. Just let it time out, basically. So now the switch number is 3 on the ground, and usually the pattern is low, high, high, low. And when you're doing this, just realize that when you come down and you smash the switch, you're completely vulnerable. And like the changelog mentions, it only cancels out and puts him in the stun status if the button you're smashing is the one that puts him in the KO status. So I just jump to give myself hang time, but I find that avoiding the purple one is the hardest for me. Like right now, you can parry that, just jump and hit the wall when it comes. And then this one here, you can do 2 Trinity smashes, although I don't think I did the combo correctly. Do 2 Trinity smashes, then back off, and then I switch to the Eric's, do the drive over, do the stinger over to him, and then you don't get much time on the second wave. after the first explosion when you're going in for more hits. Just take like 3 hits and then back off. Otherwise, you'll get hit in the explosion. So here he's doing this. I don't know what to tell you. They gimp this character. It's criminal. I don't know. They seem to do that with games. But I just went for evasions this whole time. Then when you do this, just realize that it tracks you pretty damn quickly and it goes on for a while. And that's the extent of its attacks. It's just avoiding all this stuff that can be pretty difficult just because it doesn't work that well. And before you get all offended and anything like that, just trust me. It could handle a little bit better. If it handled like it did back in the old games, like no damaging this would have been so simple because the jump was just perfected back then. I don't know what it is about these new games that they screw up the jump. But anyway, this will be... this is the area actually in Chapter 8 where it's a secret mission. It's called A Taste of Heaven, and you can grind for money on these. There's 11 enemies, and you can keep redoing it for as long as you want to, and you get a ton of orbs. So if you need any questions or answered about that, just ask them and I'll answer in the description about how to grind for money in that area. It's the best place that I've found to grind for red orbs. The best place I found to grind for health upgrade points is the Lilith boss fight, the Mundus spawn fight. Is that her name, Lilith? I don't even know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But just keep airborne as much as possible here so that you don't have to deal with these guys and you could waste time. And then on this phase here, the wall attack, it's prolonged in this sequence, and sometimes he starts with it, sometimes he doesn't. I think the changelog noted that wherever you are on the map, so to speak, that's where the attacks that's what attacks he does. So just use this. This is a good move. I've iframed through the wall attack a couple of times with the angel evade, but when I tried to do it intentionally, it didn't. I couldn't get it to work. I don't think there's that many iframes in that particular move, in this move right here. There's maybe like I don't even know. There's just not that many. So just let that attack come together 3 times, and the more he does this, the better. But just realize that it does increase a little bit in speed. So do the. I'm gonna use the devil trigger. I don't think you need the devil trigger to kill him, but I was kind of frustrated because I was doing this for at least an hour and a half trying to no damage this guy.